All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome to another episode of TnT Knows It All Sports. I'm your co-host Ty, and over to this side.
What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing?
Yeah.
I have a background because we're supposed to put this a couple weeks ago, but I'm gonna put it up. Okay, we'll talk about it later. But
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, I know,
everything is
man.
a
Yeah,
tough game.
Yep, tough game, man. We gotta definitely recap, but we got a packed agenda. We sorry missed a week, but or a couple weeks,
Yeah,
but
we were traveling, but
yeah. But hey, we were able to get you guys ready for the big game. But a lot has been happening in sports, a lot. And so
mhm.
we got a lot to cover in a little time frame. So the agenda we have today is we're going to talk about probably the big. We were just having this discussion before the prep. Probably the biggest trade in our lifetime. Never seen anything like it. NBA trades and all the NBA trades is not only was one of the biggest trades, but probably the biggest trade um, deadline in my history. And
Right.
then we'll recap the championship games that happened, give you a preview of the Super Bowl, not only the game, but we're gonna give you into a little bit of our hip hop knowledge and talk about the halftime because that's also a big deal to us, and then finish with the uh some final thoughts and comments that we both have.
Yep.
So yeah, so we can get right into it. So we're gonna start off with the NBA trade deadline. So the deadline was February 6th. It was a Thursday, and there were some big moves that occurred basically a week before, like almost a week before till then, that I think has shaped that changed the landscape of the NBA, but really it's changed the landscape of sports and the
Right.
way I think athletes will start to think about, I would not
Right.
say their mortality, but really what their standing is. Because the NBA is one sport that those players have the most rights than any other sport. Like they kind of run things.
hmm
And there's a
They have the
couple
most
trades.
power. Yeah, they
Yep.
have the by far the most power.
And boy, they made a trade that made players really rethink about their power.
Yep.
So, um, we can start off with that big trade. So the trade that occurred was Luka Doncic. And so we know that people that watch this might not know, might be more into football than basketball, but
Everyone knows Luca, I hope.
yeah,
But
I
I
would hope
mean,
so. And if you don't
yeah.
know Luka Doncic, to compare, he is okay. So he has been in the league 7 years. He has five all NBA first teams. What that means is he's top five player in the league 5 of his 7 years that he's been in the league.
Yeah.
He's turning 20. He's not even 26 yet. He will be 26 next week. He is probably the most unstoppable scorer in the NBA now. Like he can pretty much score whenever he wants.
Right.
And he was traded to the Lakers of all teams, who, for people that don't know, I'm a Knicks fan, but I used to be a Lakers fan. Thomas knows like mostly my whole life. Magic Johnson was my first words. Kobe Bryant, was my favorite. But once Kobe left and then LeBron came, I was like, I can't. I'm already struggling with two teams. Um, I'll just
Right.
be a Knicks fan and then let the Lakers go. But that being said, I do love me some Luca, so I mean, I do got my Lakers gear on just
No,
in
no,
case.
don't be Lakers, man.
I'm
I
never gonna leave
mean,
the Knicks, but
yeah,
hey, when LeBron leaves and Luca's there, it'll be easier for me to pull for Luca. I mean, I love the guy.
yeah.
But he got traded for Anthony Davis and Max Christie, who was just a kind of a throwing guy, and a first round pick for Luca Doncic.
And then Hood was
Oh
thrown
yeah.
on a
I know. Who's
third team.
Scafino?
Yeah,
Yeah, he got thrown to Utah.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
so.
What a
Yeah, so
bust.
I want I'll give you the floor, Thomas. What are your
So
thoughts on the trade? Like, where were
so
you when you heard this? Like, what was your feelings in during this
yeah.
time?
So before we start, since a lot of people like football, Luca's like Lamar to me. Like the unique type of player. both have deficiencies. We can talk about that later on. But
Yeah.
one can't play defense. One is not a good thrower of the ball, and I'll talk about it later still. But I mean, I honestly, so where was I? I think I was cooking dinner for my son,
Mhm.
and I saw that like everybody, how everyone's blowing your phone. I'm like, yo, what's going on?
Right.
And then because you have the Apple Watch, and you're like, why is everyone buzzing? And I look and I was like, can you believe this trade happened? I thought it was fake. First of all, you know what I mean? I thought it was a
Hmm.
troll. Like,
Yeah.
why would anyone trade a 25-year-old superstar?
Right.
I mean, Anthony Davis is a great player, but why would you
Right.
try a 25-year-old international superstar,
Right.
top
International.
five player,
Hmm.
just five-time first team All NBA team. By the way, Steph Curry got six. Just to have people to understand that Luka has five and Steph Curry has six.
Yeah, but
Steph,
Steph Curry doesn't have as many first team All NBAs as Luca, by the
yeah,
way. He
yeah,
only has
just
four.
true.
So that
And
tells
Steph
you.
Curry has six. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right, four. And then and I was shocked because a Luca just took him to the finals. I mean, and then,
Yeah.
like finals, and then I'm reading like, why would they trade Luca? So when I first saw Luca, I thought I was like, oh wow, did they trade him for Ant-Man? I thought they
Yeah.
were trading for
Yeah.
another
Yep.
superstar, or Jaden or Tatum, which I don't know
Yeah.
why. Then it was like Anthony Davis. I was confused. So I mean, I love Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis. I like Anthony
Hmm.
Davis since little before I get into Anthony Davis. He was supposed to go to Syracuse, by the way. A lot of people don't
Uh,
remember, but he grew 8 inches and then went to Kentucky. But that's a different topic for a different day. So I
hmm.
like Anthony Davis, but and then you didn't get no first round picks. I mean, Ruby Gordere got four first round picks. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
from Utah. So like I was so surprised, and then I continued to read it. It's like I thought I was like, what's Mark Cuban doing? And I forgot Mark Cuban's not the owner anymore.
Right.
So you know how sometimes you forget, like you remember, but you're like, why
Hmm.
the hell would Mark Cuban? And then I remember it's a worthless billionaire that the Wynn family or whatever. The guy, his wife, he passed away, R.I.P.
Hmm.
But his wife sold the team, and it's just I'm just reading more and more about it. I see the outrage. Then the more I'm reading about that, he's like conditioning, out of shape, all these ridiculous stories. So I
Hmm.
was shocked. And great for the Lakers, by the way. I mean, talk about the Lakers are the by far the luckiest team in all sports. Okay, the Yankees and the Lakers, those are the two teams that get superstars that come to their team. Like, you don't have to worry about it, right?
Hmm.
Kobe, Shaq, Paul Gasol. I mean, LeBron, Luca. Now, I mean, there's a million
Will
AD.
Chamberlain.
Hey, I was going to go back to Will
Yeah.
Chamberlain, Magic Johnson. It's like
Jerry West.
Jerry West, Magic Johnson. Every freaking decade, they get a superstar. It's ridiculous. A top five player in
Hmm.
the NBA.
Hmm.
So when I was reading about it, and then reading about the owner, the GM, I'm
Hmm.
like, damn, did Jason Kidd really not like him? Like,
Yeah.
and then I find out when we see the press conference, Jason Kidd doesn't even like know what's going on.
He's like, I'm just here to get so I
Uh,
don't get fined out this big.
they're fine. Now, Rob Pelinka robbed them. Let me get real quick before I get to you. This is what pissed me off more than anything. Okay, so as you guys know, I'm a big Rockets fan, and I've been talking about let's get a superstar. Ty knows I've been against superstar. DeAndre Fox was the guy I wanted, but we'll talk about him in a second.
Mhm.
Superstar to have all the assets. How the hell did the Lakers are the only ones to be on the phone with this trade? Like you could have got a lot. You could have got a king's ransom. I mean, the Rockets would probably trade Sungal, Amon Thompson, a lot of draft picks, Easton, Cam
Yeah.
Whitmore. I mean,
Right.
you probably would have got four of the players. Even Jabari Smith, maybe throw him
Yeah.
replace Cam Whitmore, and a bunch load of first round picks they have from the Brooklyn Nets, and you got AD, Max Christie, and no draft picks, bro. I mean,
One.
I'm just to me that's no
Right,
draft.
right.
Two
It's
thousand
like
what was
that,
it?
right.
What is
Yeah,
that?
it's
20, 31 or
2026 or
26?
30,
Okay,
30, 31. You're right, 31.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
30.
31 pick, which is going to be like the 28th pick because you know the
Yeah,
Lakers are going to be good.
because Lucas is 25 years old, right?
Yeah, right.
And it's crazy. And what makes it worse, and the last part I said the last part, but the last part is that he's about to get a super max contract.
I know.
And the man lost $125 million.
I know.
That's what will teach and I'm saying the NBA is gonna have a problem now because the player
Yep.
union is like, oh, you're gonna start fucking us over because
Hmm.
you worried about paying us 350 million. But what's great about the Supermax is that you finally are able, like the NFL, lock your superstar player for 5 years. and not have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like the NFL does with quarterbacks. You get to lock them in 5 years. You don't have to worry about the 3 year and the player option. For the now you got to, you know what I'm saying? You're locking them in for 2 more years, which is crazy. But that's just what my thoughts were.
But I think that was a key part, man. He lost a lot of money,
One
so
twenty, $125 million.
yeah. But
I
here's
w-
the thing I see. He's gonna get that back anyway.
oh, in LA,
Because
of course,
yeah, I
yeah,
mean he get that, and then also he was gonna get like a 5 year, 365 mil. So now
yeah.
he's gonna sign this year. Let's say he signs a 2 year, $120 million deal
You think you do a 2 year? You don't think you do a 4 year?
because
Okay.
because he can recoup that money later.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
You see what
true.
I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
So it's kind of like I'll do it too. Plus, don't forget he didn't ask for this trade.
yeah.
So he's
Bro,
like, why would I
I
take a 5 year, 240 million deal? Actually, I have 5 year, 360, 60
yeah,
million, like you just said. So if I'm him, I would do 2 year. It doesn't mean he's not going to re-sign, but LeBron probably school him. Like, yeah,
yeah,
just do a 2 year, 120. And then after 2 years, and you get to be first team All NBA, which you will be, you could do a super max after you
yeah.
do this 2 year deal.
So you're the basketball guy, and I tried to look this up. I couldn't find it.
Mhm.
Why didn't they veto this trade? That's what
Yeah.
like. Is there a way to veto? You know how they vetoed Chris Paul trade to the
Yeah.
Lakers? Well,
Yeah.
why didn't they veto the trade?
That's a very good point because I think they didn't veto it because this is Super Bowl week, and look what we're talking, even what we had to talk about to start.
That's true.
This is like the big, like we said, it's the biggest trade ever. So even the media that doesn't even want to talk about NBA, you know how I feel about that, couldn't avoid this one. Could avoid.
Yeah.
It's the first topic for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And this is Super Bowl week. And they're like, first thing we got to talk about, we got to still talk about this Luka trade that happened.
Yeah, everybody was talking about every
It's
podcast, like football
yeah.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
football, right? Football
Mm.
podcast. Didn't Miles Garrett has to be traded? They're like, hey, maybe the Lakers might want to trade for him. It's just a joke because it's that shocking. So I think that's part of why they did it.
Yeah,
And then
I'm just
also, if it's the Lakers, like you said, the Lakers are getting the franchise. If it would have been like, oh, we're gonna trade Luca to the Rockets, no offense, or the Grizzlies, they're like,
Morocco's a big market team,
it ain't the Lakers.
but
The
true.
Lakers, Celtics, Knicks, like
But yeah,
Warriors,
they need
like
to
those
investigate.
teams.
They need to investigate. That's some bullshit that nobody else got in. But yeah, that's
It
my
is.
take.
I agree 100%. But really quick on evaluating. So now we talked about the shock, evaluating what that impact means. To me, I think the Lakers actually they've been playing really well. They're playing right now. They've been playing really well lately before the trade, and they went small. So I think I don't know. I'm still trying to evaluate what they'll do this year. I don't think they're going to win the championship, but I do think they may make a little noise. Um,
Yeah,
and of course, future is bright. Dallas, though, I actually think that this trade makes Dallas like the second best team in the West.
really.
Yeah, and here's why. So it sounds crazy, of
Interesting.
course, because Luka's great, but he don't play defense. You mentioned that earlier. He's not a defender. And so what now you have, they already have good big men defenders, but now Anthony Davis to me is the best defensive player in the league.
Yeah.
Like I mean
Oh well,
he
if
he
Kawhi is healthy, but got
right,
you.
right,
Okay.
right. And Kawhi, he's played 18 games in the last 2 years
Right, right. But
out of
yes,
164.
right.
But yeah, but like Anthony Davis, he like erased. That's why the Lakers they don't have any defenders. And then they put Anthony Davis back there. They actually look competent. You can't drive in the basket. He can switch on guards. Now you have two guys like that. So if you're the
Yeah.
you see their starting lineup, they're gonna have a
Yeah,
seven
yeah,
footer,
yeah.
6'11, six
PJ
nine,
Washington,
PJ Washington 6'10.
he
Then
could play defense.
you got
He could,
Clay who's 6'8, and
yeah,
then Kyrie. So who's small, but it doesn't really even matter when you have
sure.
four guys that are 6'8, 6'10, 6'11, and seven
You
feet.
talking about Spencer though? You talking about Spencer Dinwiddie
No, he
too?
won't even start.
I know
Right.
what I'm saying, he comes in like
And he
yeah.
comes in on the bench, right? So Kyrie's like, all right, we'll put Spencer in. He's
What,
six
what,
six, 6'4. So I think that is something that is going to be overwhelming for teams. Like that's an advantage. And also you have no answer for it. And AD is already been destroying everybody in the West this year anyway. He's averaging like 27, almost 28 points a game.
he's destroying the Rockets right now. But yeah, go ahead.
Right.
But-
Right. So now they're going to be able to score, so it's going to look different. So I think short term, I think Dallas actually is a legit threat in the
Yeah,
West because Oklahoma City is the best team, but now Oklahoma City's they're small. They're gonna have to try to match up with. It's gonna be it'll be interesting. So short term, I think Dallas did a great job to try to win now, but it's still not worth it when you have Luka. You try to figure out how to build around him and make him happy. So
yeah. I mean, yeah. That's
yeah,
Oh, I mean, did they need defense? There's other people they could have traded for. Like we'll talk about a defender in a second later on,
man,
but
Anthony Davis is a scorer. He's like both.
it
Like
should not.
he's got
Yeah,
to be on the court. That's the main thing. If he's on the court, he's one of the best players. He's top 10 player in the NBA. Easy, easy. But he's got
yeah,
to be on the court. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
he's top 75 player of all time.
yeah.
And he's
But
not,
not
and he's not in the tail end of his. He's still got 3 years of his prime left.
right, right. Not
Three.
yeah, true. And for Luca, I think that Texas barbecue might have not did it well. You know what I'm saying? So and every no, I'm so now
And that
you're going
beer.
to yeah, the beer, yeah, beer, the all the Texas bourbon, Tito's, vodka, so all jokes aside, now he's in LA. LA don't play game. My thing, and not to go too prolong this, what
Mhm.
I don't understand is how people can't get in his ear. Oh, you got Michael Finley there. I remember Michael Finley as a player, very aggressive.
Mhm.
Like you can't get this man to get in shape. I don't understand. Look at what the Joker did. Denver was able to get him back in shape, get him in shape and everything. So you got LeBron there and everybody else. I think the LA media, it's going to help Luca's career, but
Mhm.
there's more to it than being
Yeah.
out of shape. That that
Agreed.
that's like
Agreed.
that's like the Bengals trading Joe Burrow all of a sudden because he gets injured once in a while. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I mean,
Right.
Luca's better than Joe Burrow, but
Yeah.
you know what I
But it's
mean?
sim-
Like
but that's very similar though. I agree. Yeah, I think there's more to it as well. But yeah, so there'll be more. We'll be definitely talking more about that
yeah,
because the NBA will go on after
right,
the All-Star break. So there's some other big trades that happened.
yeah.
So another huge trade that occurred, which is, I know it makes you sad,
I thought
is
he's coming home, boy. I thought he's coming
yeah,
home.
De'Aaron Fox came back to Texas. He just went to the wrong team for you. So De'Aaron
Yeah,
Fox got traded to San Antonio, and they gave up like nothing. They gave up Zach
they did
Collins. They gave up did they even give up first round
Castle.
pick?
They didn't even
Cat.
give up Castle.
They gave up no young. They gave up no young players. I think Trey
Except,
Jones was Trey Jones part of the trade.
yeah,
Yeah, Trey
Trey Jones
Jones.
and Zach Collins. I mean, but he was
Right.
yeah. Eh,
For De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah, and Kevin Ubert. Wasn't it Kevin Ubert in the trade? Or whatever.
Oh, Kevin Herter.
Oh, heard there. Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kevin Herter.
Yeah.
So
But they
yeah,
got a
so
lot of draft picks though. San
they did.
Antonio.
Yeah, so
I mean Sacramento, but yeah.
Sacramento. But the Kevin Herter part, Kevin Herter went to Chicago.
Okay.
And Zach Levine was in the trade. So Zach Levine, which is a big name too, goes back to, I mean, goes not back to the West Coast
He's
because he's
from the
from
West Coast,
LA. Yeah.
UCLA, yeah.
And so he got to play now with Sacramento. So which is interesting. He gets reunited with DeMar DeRozan again. So they just built the mediocre
Yeah.
Chicago team and
With a
they
better
moved them
big.
west.
Well, they
Yeah, with a
got
better big.
Sabonis. Yeah, Sabonis is a better big.
Sabonis, Vucevic.
I mean, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he's better, but
But the problem, I mean, the problem is when a player demands a trade, this is what
yeah,
happens. The value,
yeah,
the value goes. So,
right.
when you demand a trade, and it happens in sports, when you demand a trade,
Yeah.
you don't get as much value.
So what do you think is the impact of that trade then? Because I,
Oh, I
I do think
mean,
it's a big trade.
San Antonio is about to be, I mean, within a
Yeah.
year. So, what was crazy is I don't know if a lot of people don't watch basketball as much, but like I
hmm
remember Matt Castle at UConn. I mean, oh,
Stefan Castle,
Stephon, sorry. Why did I call him? I'm thinking Matt Castle, the
the
quarterback.
quarterback. Yeah.
That's one guy. I remember him in UConn. I'm like, who is this dude? And he
hmm
did like 6'5" ish.
hmm
He needed to get a little bit of more of a better jumper, but he could drive to the hole, and I think he will get a better jumper. But De'Aaron Fox and the best player is going to come up soon, right? Wemby is going to be the best player in the
Yeah.
NBA in like 2 years. I mean, that's
Right.
like maybe next year. 2 years, I'll give him 2 years, but you get him with the San Antonio system. Like I know, I mean, you just get them with a San Antonio system. You got young players. I forgot. What's the other guy? Vassal,
Devin Vassell, yeah.
Vassell. So they didn't have to give him up.
Keldon
Keldon,
Johnson,
yeah, Keldon Johnson. They didn't have to give up any.
Sohan.
Yeah, so yep, Sylvan's a great defender. So they didn't have to give up any of these players, which De'Aaron Fox, they gave a draft capital, but they're set, right?
Hmm.
But what's going to happen is contracts are going to come up soon. So, De'Aaron Fox, I think he gets a new contract this year, right? What's great, that's why I love the NBA contract. That's a different episode we got to talk about.
Hmm.
So much better than NFL, so much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Because you just can't, you got to you got to stay within the extensions. You
Yep.
can't be overpaying people
Yep.
that's how that's, but anyway, that's why it makes it fair in the NBA a lot more. So they're going to be good in the future. The problem is that I mean, San Antonio plays in the West where you got
Yeah.
Oklahoma City, the Rockets coming up,
Yep.
the Dallas, the Grizzlies. I
The
mean,
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves. I was going to go. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of top-notch teams, so that's where you got to figure out how to go from there. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great trade. I mean, he should have went to the Rockets. Honestly, I don't know. No, I mean, I'm just all jokes aside. I don't know why he didn't
You
go on
guys
a
don't
guy.
have you guys don't have Victor. I mean, that's just big. Like
I
he's
mean,
gonna get to play with Victor Wembanyama for
we
like
we
his
should have got his
life.
ass. Should have been the first pick. The Rockets
I
never got the
know.
first pick in the draft, and they were and I don't want to go veer, but the Rockets they literally were in the
Worst
top
team.
three, top two, and then they
Hmm.
get a first pick at all in the
Hmm.
three drafts. It's
Hmm.
supposed to be, but anyway, that's a different. I thought it was a year. I was like, oh, Victor about to go be a Rocket,
Yeah.
But anyways, but yeah.
So yeah, no, I think it's a good trade. From Chicago's end, I don't know what Chicago's doing. I just don't have any idea.
I
I
mean,
I think it's good that they traded Victor. I'm not Victor. I mean Zach LaVine. But then what they needed to trade Vucevic, which they did not. So I'm not sure. I really don't know what Chicago's doing. I have no idea. If I was a Bulls fan, which I'm not, I would be extremely frustrated with them because I don't know what direction they're going in. So whatever. Now Sacramento, it's nice that they got Zach LaVine, but I don't know how they fit. So they don't have a point guard. I don't know what style they're going to try to play. They fired the coach, so they have a new coach. So
Right.
maybe they're just looking at the fact that they need to get assets.
I
Um,
mean, yeah,
but I don't really
they
know what
could.
they're doing. I mean, Zach LaVine is clearly better than Kevin Herter, so you would think it's an upgrade. But they traded Davion Mitchell last year, who would have been a great point guard for them to have. Now they have no point guard. So again, I don't know what some of these teams are doing.
But they tried it.
But to your point, you mentioned that if a guy wants to get traded, then you kind of have to trade him. So we'll
I
see.
don't get why they traded Davion Mitchell. I was just gonna say they drafted him what seventh pick in the draft or ninth pick in the
Yeah,
draft.
yeah,
But the Chicago's are becoming the Clippers. Like they're not like it
yeah,
starts in 2020 when they drafted Patrick Williams. I mean,
yeah,
they got a four pick and then that's what happens. Then they
yeah,
oversign people and the people want to get out. That's what's happening in Chicago. Becoming the
yeah.
Clippers of the Midwest.
I know it's sad. But yep, and then another big trade that we got to talk about is a guy finally got his wish.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler
And they
is
got
leaving.
extension.
Yeah, he got a 2-year, $112 million extension, which is what he wanted, uh, to leave Miami, and now he's going over to Golden State. And Golden State gave up Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, who they had just traded for,
Yeah.
and like I can't even remember the Waiters or Waters or something.
Waters, yeah, Waters. And
So
Josh, yeah. Was it Davion Mitchell was in that trade too, right? Yeah, he was. He's going to from Toronto, but whatever.
yeah, and so right, so like I
Kyle Anderson, that's the other
yeah,
guy.
yeah, Kyle, that's right, Kyle Anderson. That's right. Kyle Anderson is going to Toronto somehow. So and Schroeder's going to Detroit. That's like weird, this shuffling. So we'll talk about that. Who cares about Toronto and Detroit? Actually, when we'll talk about basketball more, and I'll talk about Detroit because I am actually very impressed by Detroit. They're actually a top six team right now in the East. They've been playing well, but we're not going to talk about them in just trade because
Yeah.
they didn't get anything significant. Really, I think Miami, it's tough for they're in a tough situation, but to me, to get Andrew Wiggins for Butler is a huge win. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think Andrew Wiggins is, we know how much we like him. He's got so much talent. And I think you saw the first year, they had the right structure and setup for him and he flourished. And then it's been weird in Golden State. Like nobody knows what they're doing. They're playing 13 players. Like it's just what are you I don't know what they're doing. So he can't function. It's clear Wiggins cannot function in something like that. Now you get
Yeah,
to go to Miami. And Miami is very structured. They got a Heat way of playing ball. You know Pat Riley, Spoelstra, they're gonna be like, hey, here's the Heat way. You gonna play this certain way of ball. I think
yeah,
Wiggins is gonna be really good for them. I'm annoyed because I don't like the Heat. Clearly, as a Knicks fan, I wish they could not win any game ever. But I actually think they did pretty well. And from the Golden State end, I love it for them. I mean,
yeah.
they need a big three. They need someone else that can score. Jimmy Butler, he's got playoff Jimmy, which is I always say he's like top five player in the league when it's the playoffs, and the numbers prove it. But I actually think the Warriors are going to get playoff Jimmy early
Yeah, yeah,
because he's been off, since all the
yeah,
suspensions, he's been off for like a month. So
yeah,
he's healthy. He's hungry to play. He's now playing with, he feels like a purpose, even though the Heat were actually better than the Warriors record
right,
wise.
right.
But I do think he's going to give them what they need in terms of toughness, clutch play. He's they're like number one in like cutting to the basket and getting dunks. He's
Right.
also number one or top four players in doing that. So he'll be able to thrive in that end. So I think it's a good trade. But with that
Yeah,
being said, I don't think the Warriors are going to
yeah.
win.
No, I
Like,
mean it's their last run, bro.
yeah,
Damon's 34, 35. Curry's old.
yeah,
Kaminga is good, but he's hurt, and
right,
that'll help
right,
Jermaine. And then I thought Moses Moody was gonna be much better than. I
yeah,
mean, he just doesn't look like the part.
yeah,
Light skin Curry, Brandon.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Brandon P. So he'll be fine. It's just this is their last run. You know what I mean? Let's
Hmm.
say like
Hmm.
they got an old squad they're trying to put together, but unfortunately they play in the West. They're going to be a first round exit. And to
Yeah.
me, it's whatever.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
so so,
it's gonna be
so
interesting. I think again, West is all matchups. Um, I think East actually, I think East is gonna be tougher than people think. East is pretty good. The top teams in the East are better than the top teams
yeah.
in the West, in my
Well,
opinion, besides Oklahoma City. But it's been proven, Knicks. We beat the Rockets, we beat the Grizzlies, we beat the Nuggets, three straight games,
right.
right?
But hold on, you bet Rock's team was very injured, but go ahead.
Well,
But go
yeah,
ahead.
we're missing, we're missing OG too, so it's okay. Um. But yeah, so I think it'll be
If they make the playoffs, they're not even in the playoffs yet.
that's
They're not in
true.
the play-in game.
That's a
So
great point. They're gonna have to somehow get in the playoffs, and now because San Antonio was like teetering, and now they got
yeah.
De'Aaron Fox. They're gonna make a push. I mean, that's
Sacramento's at the bottom. They got to fight for that, the last
yeah,
spot.
yeah. They're gonna have
So
to fight.
maybe the Clippers will choke. Who knows?
I
But
don't know. The
I
Clippers
know I
made
like
some
the
good moves.
Clippers.
So yeah, speaking of that, that's the three that we wanted to highlight. Is there any, and there's so many trades, if you haven't look it up, but is there any trade that you wanted to talk about in particular that is not one of the big three? It wasn't the Aaron Fox trade, wasn't Jimmy Butler or Luca?
I mean, no, I mean I'll talk about it's part of the De'Aaron Fox trade. But
Hmm.
Zach LaVine, that would be a good trade. I watch Sacramento now because I like Sacramento since I'm a
Hmm.
Rocks fan, but I like when they had Chris Webber. I would try to cheer for the Sacramento small market team.
Hmm.
So I think that like Zach LaVine going there, at least they got Zach LaVine. They got somebody who could score, a shooter. I watch Sacramento and like when Monk is your best shooter, like sometimes you need somebody else to shoot the rock and get there. But like I like Monk, but I mean, I watch their games. Like, who's their real shooter? It's supposed to be Kevin, but I mean, he barely plays. So
Yeah.
I would say that's a good trade. There were so many trades. Unfortunately, I mean, the Rockets had all these damn assets, and we got Cody Zeller and Jaden Sullinger. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, no.
I mean, I get it. So what? Let me just add one thing. What could have happened?
Hmm.
There was Katie was in rumors with the Rockets.
Right, right, because
That
that didn't
but
happen, right?
I didn't like the trade package they put together. They're talking about rumor wise. Like,
Hmm.
why would he put Amon Thompson in? Okay, if you would have been Cam Whitmore, maybe Tyree Easton, maybe I wouldn't care about Jabari Smith. He's hurt. Just trade
Yeah. Yeah,
But you're trying to put like your core players in, and for a 36-year-old for 1-2 good, man, I'm good, bro.
yeah,
So that's a trade to happen, but they didn't do anything. I would say, Zach LaVine maybe put a quick run for them, but there were so many trades that happened.
yeah.
So
So me, it was a last minute trade that occurred, and I mean, I almost cried. I was like, I cannot believe this happened. I can't believe that they allowed this to happen now. Because the Knicks, so no offense to them, like it's Boston, right? I don't care what anybody's having in the regular season. In the East, you gotta
right,
beat Boston.
right,
The Cavs are playing good, they're legit, but 7 game series, you get to focus on them. I think the Knicks have a chance. I had a chance, right? Just matchup wise.
right.
The Cavs got DeAndre Hunter for George Niang, Karis LeVert, and like 2 second round
I
picks.
forgot both of them played in the league, honestly.
Right.
Like,
Well,
like
Karras has been playing
caregiver,
well, but he's a bench player. He's like
yeah.
he's not anybody that the league. Everyone's like, "Ooh, I'm really worried about Karras." For DeAndre Hunter, who this year has been incredible. He's averaging almost 20 points a game off the bench.
Yeah. I don't know why
And
he's not starting, but go ahead.
I will be starting now for
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Right.
And the one weakness they had is anyone said is their three. They put Max Strus in there. They put Isaac Okoro. I
Yeah.
mean, they put Levert. They're just trying to fill that hole. Now you get a guy who is young, like 25 years old, 24,
27.
25.
He's
Is he
27.
27 now?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, can't believe he's
He's
that
been
old.
he's been in the league for a minute. Yeah. I just looked it up, just make sure
Yeah.
his age.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so 27, still young. He's still not in like his prime. He's the
Yeah.
beginning of the prime. That's why he's playing so well now. In a position of need that they had. So he's an elite defender. He can make
Yeah.
baskets. He can create his own shot. So they went from a weakness to a strength.
Yeah.
I think this just possibly puts them over the top. I thought they were second, third best team. Depends if how the matchups go. If Milwaukee was the 4 seed, they would probably play him close. It's that kind of game. Now,
Yeah.
I think they're probably a lock for that Eastern
Yeah.
Conference
Oh, yeah.
Finals.
Oh,
And
yeah,
against
yeah.
against either hopefully us or Boston, which probably gonna,
You
it'll be one
you
of
can
those
argue with
scenarios.
them. They probably have the best starting five in NBA.
Yeah, right now, especially now. Yeah,
Yeah. I
best
mean, you
starting
can
five.
argue. Yeah. From
Yep.
Jared, and in defense, you got Jared Allen and you got
Mo
DeAndre
yeah, Hunter and
Mobley. Mobley,
Mobley.
dude, that's what I'm saying. 100.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh. It's just
yeah.
terrible. It's just the word. I'm sorry.
And
It
Oroku
hurts.
on the off the bench, he was a fifth pick in the draft because of his defense. He can't.
Okoro, yeah.
Yeah, Okoro, I'm sorry, Okoro, and his defense is good, so you keep him out with the bench. Matt Screw coming off,
Hmm.
shooting threes. They're going to be good.
Ty
Even
Jerome. Yep.
Jerome is not.
Yep.
Ty Jerome got a little jump
Yep.
shot, so
Yeah.
they're going to work. I forgot Tristan Thompson was still in the NBA,
Yeah.
but so
Yeah, he's
so
doing his
but
little thing.
yeah, but I
Yep.
mean they're gonna be ooh, they're gonna be a problem.
They
The
are.
in the playoffs, and we'll talk about it later on, but
Mm.
in NBA playoffs, defense is the
Hmm.
key to
Hmm.
make a run.
Yeah.
Like people don't understand, you can't be scoring 130 points every
No.
game
No.
and expect to win. You have to like shut, you gotta, even
Yeah.
that's what when Golden State did their run,
Yeah.
Curry was playing good defense,
Yep.
like you gotta just play D.
Yep.
And
Agreed.
their defense is gonna be like,
Elite.
woof.
I know. Yeah, so that's the trade that I think. I mean, there's a couple others. I mean, Bogey Bogdanovic is my favorite guy. He's now with the Clippers. I
He
thought
keeps on
that was
getting
a good.
traded, but
I know
yeah,
it's his third, but I love him, man. That guy, he's like a perfect bench player. So now they just got another playmaker. So Clippers, I think, actually did a really good job in the trade deadline. Um, and they got rid of your boy Kevin, Lefty. What was his name? Kevin Porter Jr.
Kevin
Kevin
Porter.
Porter Jr. He got traded for
Yeah,
Marshawn Beauchamp.
yeah.
I know. Sensitive subject with the Rockets, but so we'll close this by saying both of our teams. You explained your teams. Both our teams are top three teams in their
Yeah.
respective conferences. I think the Rockets are fourth now,
We
but they're top four teams in their respective conference and didn't do anything. And the
right,
Knicks, our trade is we traded, you know, what's the name? Clown Sims, which, hey, we've gave him a long time, long leash. At least he was an athlete. But we traded him for DeLon Wright. Of all the players in the league that we could trade, DeLon Wright, the
right,
guy
right,
played 3 minutes a game. He's shooting 28% from the field,
right,
Tibbs is going to put him on the bench, so I don't understand. So I'm hoping the Knicks have a buyout. They do the buy work in the buyout market, which I think is one, and or
Right.
this would be an off season. We're getting Mitchell Robinson back is basically like adding a trade, like
You're right,
adding a
sir.
person. So all
We
right.
we we forgot about Kuzma too.
Oh
Trade.
yeah, yes.
So
Because there's so many trades we didn't talk about, but you're right. Kuzma for Chris
just real
Middleton.
quick, yeah, that's
I
good
think
for the Milwaukee. That was great for
yeah,
Milwaukee.
yeah.
I
Now, will
mean,
will Kyle Kuzma not be a knucklehead? Because we live, in the DC area. I got to see him. He been playing street ball for a long time. He not been playing winning
yeah.
basketball. I
But
watched the
Dame,
first game that they played. He didn't look very good. So he's gonna
well,
now have to like get his mindset like, yeah, I'm playing winning basketball now. Like I got to do the right thing, be efficient.
well, it's also to please
Hmm.
Giannis.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of rumors around. It's like the Rockets. I even sent you guys in the chat room that trade.
yeah,
I would pray for that trade to happen, but
yeah.
we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. All-Star break needs to happen because Rockets are
I
about to lose 6 damn games in a row, so they need to quickly happen. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
know. I know. Yeah, exciting, man. Basketball. I know people love football, but get on board, man. NBA, it's fantastic. This has definitely
yeah,
been a great trade deadline.
yeah,
All right, so enough of the NBA for now. We're gonna get into what you guys are here for, which is football. And so we'll start with a quick recap of the championship games. Um, we'll start with the NFC
yeah.
because we figured it would be pretty short. It was what was the final score? 55 to 27, 23.
23.
Okay, 55-23. So,
Most
um,
scored in NFC Championship game history.
embarrassing. Just put it
Yeah,
this way, like, hey, props to the Commanders for getting there. They probably shouldn't have. They ran into a Lions team that was stubborn, and even though they were hurt, they clearly didn't understand what they needed to do to compete against the Commanders. Um, but the Commanders ran into a football team that understood them. The moment was too big for them, the
right, right.
Commanders. And Eagles are just they're the best roster in the NFL. I mean,
Yeah,
unfortunately. You just
yeah,
watch out there, they're just better than
yeah.
most of those teams. So, I mean,
Washington was a little Cinderella story, but I knew when Saquon made that run, it was over.
first play of the game.
Yeah,
He's like, all right, time to get ready for or New Orleans. You got my bags packed, get the beignets. Can you order me some beignets real quick? Like,
yeah. No, it was like I hate to say it 'cause we have a friend BJ,
yeah,
but that first drive, you're like, oh, they got 7 minutes, but when they have to go on fourth down 4 times,
yeah,
or 3 times, and then they didn't go for the fourth one because they could have field goal. Like that's when I
mhm,
know the game's over. Like you just like you're playing Russian roulette. You can't go for fourth downs your whole life. Can't ask Dan Campbell, right?
right, right,
So you
right.
can't. But anyway, the game was over. We don't want to talk about it. It was embarrassing. Good
Yeah,
job for the Eagles.
yeah, yeah. I don't really talk about it either. And then okay, the game that has broken a lot of people's hearts.
Yep.
Uh, this one, this one, this person over here. The Bills lost 32 to 29 championship game. It was a tough one. I think they could have had it. Couple
Yeah.
plays here, couple plays there. Um, I'll let you go into, share.
Uh,
You get the floor to talk about
I,
your boys.
yeah, I have so much, but I was being a negative guy. But I remember I was chatting rooms like, "Game's over." They're like, "It's the first quarter,
Yeah,
Thomas." I was like, "I know my team. I know. I've been watching them, watched the all 22. I know them well." When the ball was deferred, I was like, "Oh, okay." The Chiefs got the going to kick off defer. So the Bills got to score on the first drive because you got to put the pressure on them. That's what they did in the first game, right? The
yeah,
first game, they didn't get the ball they didn't get the ball first. Chiefs got it first, right?
yeah,
And they only got three, and then they went down and scored a touchdown. You have to score. Then when I saw the first game, first off, Josh Allen almost threw like 2 picks in that drive. But
yeah,
if you actually watch the game in the first quarter, I was like, oh, here we go. They didn't even run the fucking ball. Like they
yeah,
didn't even run the ball. They ran a
yeah.
quarterback power to get him fired up. They didn't run the ball. I was like, you guys been playing your game all the time. And Ty, you and I say this all
Yep,
the time.
yep,
For some reason, when people play the Chiefs, they all of a sudden become this like, we got to play Jedi mind tricks and just start playing
yeah,
football, bro. Play football.
right.
Hand the ball off. You've been running 80%. Here's a statistic, Bills fan. 80% of your first play, first down has been a run with James Cook.
Yep.
80%. It was well, they ran the ball, Thomas. No, they ran it with Josh Allen. No, run the
Yeah.
damn ball with James Cook and
Yes.
get together, right? Then if you actually look at the drive, hindsight is 2020,
Yeah.
when the offensive line, but their bread and butter couldn't
Mhm.
hold up for another second. There's a play I can't show you guys, but they ran basically break in two wide receivers, Matt Collins up here and Shakir. Shakir is I sent in all the chat rooms
Yeah.
wide open. I mean wide open. But Josh Allen couldn't get the ball because the offensive line could not hold him. Chris Jones was
Mhm.
absolutely abusing Torrance. I mean, it took him
Yeah.
5 seconds. So when I
Yeah.
saw that, I was like, the game's over. Then, because the Bills are going to give up a touchdown. What was the statistic? I think. Uh, uh,
Every playoff game they've given up a touchdown the first drive or something
yeah,
like that.
that's
This
for
season.
that this season. But I'm talking about in the season. It's like I think it's either 80, 85% or something like that have given up. So now the Bills are playing backup. They're playing catch up. So they made the game. The game was over. I was like, because now you play seven. I just know this team. Their defense is not good. Then
Mhm.
Christian Benford got hurt. I was like, oh,
Yeah, that
it's
was
over.
bad.
So
That was
no,
big.
yeah. So I'll fast forward a little bit. The Bills came back, right? First off, they got real lucky because the Chiefs could have been up 28
Mhm.
to what was it 10 whatever the score was, but then they stopped them. So the Bills scored with Matt Collins, but that Matt Collins touchdown was a perfect example. Josh Allen, like everyone was like, oh, Josh Allen did more, bro. No one was open. I was watching the tape. I
Right.
mean, nobody was open, and when they got open, they're like, oh, all these guys watch the all 22 like these corny dumbass people I hate on TV. Bro, are you in the game? He doesn't
Yeah.
have 9 seconds to throw the ball.
Right.
He has 3 to 5 seconds. These routes take 5 seconds to get. In
Yeah.
the NFL, people get open at 5 seconds. Ask Lamar Jackson. That's why
Yeah.
his stats look good because when people get open. So when I started seeing like they couldn't get the ball a lot quickly, Amari Cooper, it's just the game was over. But the key of all of it, there's two things. Was I don't want to talk about the last drive because I really don't give a shit about the last drive. Should never been there. The Bills defense again continue to fail in the playoffs. They give up 28 points a
Mm.
game in the playoffs. They scored 32. If you told me before the game, oh, the Bills gonna score 29, I was like, oh, they won, Ty. They won.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
scored 29. They won. That was like they
Against the
won.
Chiefs, right?
Yeah, they won.
29 points against the Chiefs
The,
in
the,
Arrowhead.
the
Used to
Chiefs
win.
scored 30 points in the last 2 years. You know how many times? Twice. That's all right. Twice, guys. In the last 2 years, they scored 30 plus points twice.
Mm. That's
So
it.
so
Yeah.
that's just, so you scored 29. Everyone's like, oh, Josh Allen could throw Golden Kincaid. They scored 29 points, guys. Here's something that people forget, and you're going to talk about it. I'll let you have it because I know you talk about chasing points. The Bills and the Chiefs scored as many touchdowns and field goals, four
Mhm.
touchdowns each and one field goal. But yeah, they lost the game, right?
Yep.
So, uh, what changed also the mood of the game, and I'll move it over. There's so many things I would say, but I just want to keep it simple. What also changed the mood of the game was I'm not mad about the quarterback sneak. They're like, oh, they switch it up. First of all, people don't know football. You can't just change plays in the middle of the game. But this is what I'm upset about. On that fourth down, people talk about, oh, Josh Allen didn't get it. Do you know who his person in the back was pushing him? You know who it was? People don't
Yeah.
know. Do you know who
Mm.
it was?
Was
It
it
was it,
Ty Johnson?
yes, it was Ty Johnson. You know who the tight end was? Don Kincaid, who can't block me. Okay,
I know.
Don Kincaid was a power level. So what the Bills did was when Don Kincaid didn't get the first, they hurried up and get it. Why didn't they take their time, Ty?
Yeah.
Get this push tush crew in, which is
Personnel.
Gilmore,
Yeah.
which is Gilmore in the back. Alec Anderson as the other tight end, Gilmore in the back, or you could put Don Kincaid in the back. You don't even have the right personnel in. We're like, well, the Chiefs have their third down personnel in or whatever. They shouldn't get it. No, bro. See, this is what the Chiefs do.
You're right.
They continue to play Jedi mind tricks with everybody.
Right.
And the old Bills, I've seen this play 1,000 times. Si. It would have been 31 or 4-1. They would have just waited. They would have had the personnel in. Josh Allen took his time and took it. They were just hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. This shit is annoying, bro. This is
Yep.
this is the mental gymnastics this team continues to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll let you go. That just pisses me off. That's the
That's a
main
great
thing.
point.
So that's why they didn't get the first down, bro.
No, I
Everyone's like,
know.
"Oh, Josh Allen didn't get it." Donkey Gay literally got thrown. If you watch the play, he,
Mm.
he can't he can't block nobody, bro.
Mm.
Why did BNC see? Oh, he has to get stronger. The dude got thrown. Yes, I know he had a torn PCL, but you're playing in the game. I don't want to hear those
Yeah.
excuses
Yeah.
afterwards. But All
Yeah,
right.
either play or don't play, right?
Yeah, yeah, bro. But that's my.
That's a great point. I mean, he did get the first down, though. I mean, I know you want to
Yeah,
complain,
but I'm
and
talking
so
about,
it's
but
annoying. And you're doing the right, and you're taking the right. And I'm not blaming the refs, but I mean that's ridiculous. Like, I'll give you. I didn't even tell you this, but it'll be all for here. So I was at my daughter's game just now, and people know that I root for the Bills. I'm from state New York. At least I'm rooting for the Bills. So a guy came up to me, he's like, "Man, that was a rough game for your Bills." He was like, "It was tough that they were playing against 15."
yeah, I
And I was
mean,
like, and he said it, not me. And I was like, yeah. I was like, there's other, and I was just like, there's other plays, but you're right. It's clear, it's sad. And again, I'm not saying the refs were the cause, but if they get that fourth down that they did not get, this is a completely different
yeah,
game.
they were up 22,
Yeah,
21.
they were
Yeah.
up. So it's a completely different game. And they got it. It's not like they got it. And why, as a referee, would you ever go on the side of the person whose back is facing the back of the ball versus the person who's actually watching the ball? Like there's two sides. There's two
Right.
guys that are walking. The guy that sees the ball versus the guy that can't see the ball. I'm going to take the guy that can't see the ball. Makes no sense whatsoever. None. And so the
Yeah.
NFL needs to explain that versus the spot. I would be like, there needs to be protocol. If there's a tie goes to the person that sees the ball. That's it. Because it makes sense. That's where you're spotting it. You're spotting it
Yeah.
based on the ball.
There's a lot of talk about, that crew never coached together. I mean, never ref together.
That made sense.
So, because the guy said that, because Josh Allen threw the ball to the short, right? So people are like,
Hmm.
oh, Josh Allen was doing it. But what I learned is that if they ref together, like they would have like, yeah, the guy would be like, yo, I saw it, bro. Like I got
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
the more aggressive one, apparently, the more
Yes.
aggressive one, it was the one that took the spot. But
Yeah. Which is ridiculous, which is crazy.
right.
So, Mike, only two things. I mean, you mentioned one was I was screaming at the game, the chasing the points. And you mentioned it, like the 2-point conversions. It's 21-16 at the end of the first half. What the fuck are you going for a 2-point conversion at that point? Why? There's so much time in the game. Why are you chasing a point? Why? You
I,
you're acting to me, this is again acting like you're not better.
or you're gonna
To me,
lose,
yeah, that you're gonna
regardless.
lose. Because to me, that's part of it. I'm acting like I'm better. I don't care if you're the champs. We're gonna beat you. That means we know this is not the last time, or we're only gonna score one more time in the game, which means I'm gonna kick the extra point. Why am I chasing the points? I think, oh, I'm only gonna score one, two more times. One will be a field goal, and then no, I'm gonna score again. 17-21. Then
Right,
because they didn't get it, then they didn't get the next one, which is you just talked about. So that's 2 point. That means the game would have been tied
right,
instead
right,
of the Chiefs having to go for two and they're up three. So that's that is coaching. That's
right.
one.
Yeah.
Number two, this is why I've been calling him the Tom Thibodeau of Nick fans. Tom Thibodeau of coaching. I understand that you want to be true to yourself, right? You have a certain rotation at every single game, right? People come in and you sub them in at certain times. Like that's what Tom does. He's like at 6 minutes, what's his name? I don't care what the game is like. Mikal Bridges is coming out of the game because that's what we
Oh,
do. We don't change anything. Doesn't matter what the games. Doesn't matter what's happening in the game.
right.
But we just do everything the same way. James Cook. He's destroying them. Every time he touched the ball that game, I think he had one carry that wasn't good. Every time he's touching the ball, he's destroying them. This guy got 15 carries. I'm giving Ty Johnson carries, like
Right.
crucial carries, when
But
James Cook is your best player. Well,
but that's on Joe Brady though. That's on Joe Brady.
hey, that is,
So go-
but that's your head coach. Because
I
if
mean,
I'm the coach, I'm saying today, sir, we are going to make sure that our best play. You're the head coach. Are you not the coach? Are you the coach or you're not the
I
coach?
mean, yeah, I mean, I hear you. I just that
So
I
that to me is head coach. That means, you know what, guys? That would be a discussion. Okay, today we need to make sure we have our best guys out there at all times.
what
If we're going to run the ball 24 times, James Cook is going to run the ball 300, I mean 21 times. Maybe we'll sprinkle one for Ray Davis, which is what he got, like one carry, and then two for Ty Johnson. Not seven for Ty Johnson and two. No, James Cook needs to run the ball. James
Yeah,
Cook was killing them, and James Cook should have been in there. I think to me, that was also the reason why they weren't winning the game, is because they did not put in their best players. And you know what the Chiefs did? The Chiefs was like, you know what? We have two running backs too, Kareem Hunt and what's the dude?
Pacheco.
Pacheco. Pacheco's not looking at that great. You know who's not playing? Pacheco.
Pacheco, yeah. I mean, yeah,
Why would you do that? Because I'm trying to
they,
win the game.
he should have got
Win
the first
the
drive.
win the game.
Bro, I know, bro. I mean, and we'll talk about in the preview,
Right.
but that's true. It's like the mental, like he can't get he's the Marty. He's not Tim. He's Marty
Yeah,
Schottenheimer.
that's
All right,
it. That's
that's what
actually a
I
better.
like. I love. I give McDermott his flowers. He did great this year. But when it comes to these crucial games, he has that Marty effect. It's like, you know what I mean? So
Gonna get you so far.
yeah,
Those coach, and they're great coaches. And not
but it,
knocking them. They're
yeah.
only gonna get you so far.
Yeah, but the Bill, but I'm gonna give Kansas City credit. The
Mhm.
Bills they didn't play that great. Can't
No,
like if they would have
no,
won,
didn't.
if they would have won that game, the Kansas City basically lost that game. You know what I'm saying? So that's how because Kansas City offense,
Look great.
if the Bills would have
Mhm.
scored, let's say if the Bills didn't score a touchdown, got field goal, and you get Pat Mahomes a minute with 3 minutes, they were running all over. They couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Right.
Which here we go, Ty. You're talking about McDermott. This is where my McDermott is. Why the hell is Kyrie Elam the number 3 DB, bro? He got cooked. He was getting cooked out.
Yep.
It's like, it's like, why don't you give up on it? So many NFL teams give up on their first round pick after two
Yeah.
years. Like, oh, he's just trash. Let's get rid of him.
Yeah.
It's like, Benford got a head injury. This is where I get frustrated with McDermott. That's the important thing. McDermott is like, you got to like put players that can play. Like
Yeah.
he has to be ass in practice, bro. They're like he has to be like I'm
Right.
not watching the practice, but
Yeah.
like he's not ass in practice because
You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
looks ass, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I just that's where I get frustrated, Bill. And then I got to give Smoke. I love him, but me, Ty. I'm gonna give everybody Smoke. Josh Allen.
Mhm.
There's two plays,
Yeah.
and I get it because
Yeah.
but losing. This is how it happens in the world. When you lose, people are gonna put you in a microscope of happening. You have two plays that I don't like. I don't know what the
Yeah.
hell you're doing. Number one, Curtis Samuel was wide open. I watched that
Yeah.
play five
Yeah.
times because I gotta I gotta look at it. Did he get hit? Did he think
Yeah.
a defender there? He threw it in the dirt, right? And I'm still trying to
Yeah.
figure out. Like I heard Joe Marino and all these other people
Yeah.
talk
I
about it.
mean, yeah.
Maybe he thought somebody's hand was going to be up, so he threw
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel would have got the ball. He might have scored. I don't think of a touchdown because people
But
talk
yeah.
hyperboles.
But
You know what
he
I'm
had a
saying?
lot of yards that he
Well,
had.
yeah,
He had a
a
lot of
lot,
room.
a lot of room, a lot of room. A lot of room. 40 yards, and then it was three and
Mhm.
out, and then the Chiefs score. Another thing is, why did you audible to Amari Cooper on the screen?
Oh my gosh, I know.
He but people don't understand. He audible to that play. He
So
saw what
the
the defense could give him, and he
because
audible.
it was the right play, it's just the wrong player. What
Yeah,
I would have I would have been like, all right, look, Amari and Shakir, you two switch.
right.
Because if Shakir gets the ball there, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, because
There was
Murray missed it by a
three
touch.
play. Huh?
Right.
'Cause
Murray missed it by his foot like a
I,
toe.
because he can't run. That's
Right.
not his thing. He's not that player anymore. So it was the right play because people were like, man, why would you run that play? I'm like, they had it. It's just Amari Cooper can't move. He literally all he had to do is get past this one player that actually blocked it up, just get around. If Shakir was there, touchdown.
But
Touchdown. Not even not first down, touchdown.
I know, and this is where again, I'm going to say it again, guys.
Yeah.
This is where people
Mm.
play these stupid games with the
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
You've been running quarterback screen with Shakir basically all year. He has 40 of them or no, 28 of them. And so what
Yeah.
they were trying to be too cute. So what I'm thinking, he said
Yeah.
hot route, like Dawson Knox last week, right? Dawson knocked last week. So he's trying to like throw them off and everything. Play your game. This is why I
Yeah.
get frustrated with this team.
Yeah.
It's like play your game.
Yeah.
And it's going to lead into the conversation I want to have about a Super Bowl preview,
Yeah.
but in a second. But again, I get the concept because Cooper, by the way, was like literally 1 foot, like they grabbed his ankle. He was one away.
Yeah.
But he caught it because he doesn't do screen. You saw him in Dallas. I've never seen him do a screen pass in my life.
Nope,
I've watched him like
he hasn't done it since Oakland. He
yeah.
did it in Oakland. That was like year 1 or 2, right?
So you're given this is the AFC Championship game, fourth quarter, last drive to win it all. and you were audible to Amari Cooper on the screen. That's the two things. Those are two things like Josh Allen talked about
Yeah.
in an interview. Like, oh, I played that game over. That's the shit I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
So it's sad, man. I mean, hey, they're close. I mean, I hope we just gotta hope Bean
Miles
does
Garrett,
better. Yep.
Miles Garrett, trade
Yeah.
trade everything for Miles Garrett. But go ahead.
Yeah. But you know what? With all that being said, props to the Chiefs, man. They're winners.
Yeah, yeah.
They're winners. And so
I can't hate on them.
let's go to Super Bowl preview quickly. Let's talk about the game. So we got a rematch of the Eagles and
Yeah,
the Chiefs. Um, I don't know if you've been watching, it took me a while. I'm glad there was 2 weeks between. If it was 1 week, I probably wouldn't even
yeah,
watch the game. I was just pissed. But after a week, you kind of get over it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I've been actually like evaluating, listening to what people saying. And what I've been seeing, like in this picks, if I had to say, it's got to be like 80% Eagles.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, at least 80%. Like, everybody's picking Eagles. They're like, look, I just don't see, the Chiefs being able to beat the Eagles because of the roster. And here's what I'll say. Um, I think the Eagles roster is better. I actually do think they're better. But I do think they have weaknesses. And
Yeah.
if there's any team that is going to exploit your weakness, as Kyrie, we talk about Elam, it is the Chiefs. And they don't stop
Yeah.
exploiting your weaknesses. Number one weakness for the Eagles, their defense is great. Um, Two weaknesses actually. One, on defense, their middle of their defense is terrible. Okay,
Yeah.
the safeties aren't good. Their linebackers aren't good. They lost their starting
I
linebacker.
mean, Zach Vaughn is not that, but go ahead. It's not
Yeah,
that great to
Bond.
me,
Yeah,
but go
yeah,
ahead.
he's okay. Right, I agree with you. Not that great. So that's actually their weakness. You know who attacks the middle better than any team in the league? The Chiefs.
Yeah.
Number one in yards and plays in the middle of the field. Number one. So it's actually weakness on strength. So all this the outside play, which the Eagles don't care anyway. They're like, I don't want to throw the ball to Juju Smith-Schuster outside
Yeah.
one on
Oh,
one. They're like,
And D
D
Hop
Hop,
has been non-existent.
they
Yep.
don't care. They're like,
Right.
great. You want to continue having your strengths? We will eat you up with Watson and Kelsey and
Noah Gray.
Worthy
Noah
and
Gray.
Noah Gray. They're gonna do that. Second thing, weakness for the Eagles, passing. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, they have the ability to pass sometimes. They need to run the ball. The Eagles don't, like you said, don't be cute. Run the dang ball. Don't be trying to show that you're great. Because you know what? Jalen Hurts can have a decent game, but he's not playing against the Commanders, okay? Commanders defense is not very good. People forget that while they won against the Lions, they also
Yeah.
gave up 500 and something yards. But we talked about
Yeah.
500 plus yards. They're not good. You're going to be able to do whatever you want. You're not going to be able to do whatever you want to the Chiefs. Their defense, they are going to stop you.
You're right. Right.
So I do think Jalen Hurts is going to have the best game, had to have the best game, even better game to me than he did in the Super Bowl, in my opinion. And he
Right.
had a great game. I think he's going to have a better game this game if they're going to do that. But they need to not fall into that trap
Yep.
because Saquon's going to have a good game, but I don't think he's going to destroy them. I mean, he'll have a couple good runs here and there, but Spags don't play. And he knows two things. One, he knows you want to run the ball, and two, he knows that Jalen Hurts likes to hold the ball. When Jalen Hurts holds the ball longer than 3 seconds, his percentage goes down significantly.
Yep.
And he likes to roll right. He like all of a sudden he's like, oh, roll right, and then you see him, he throws the ball out of bounds. It's almost like a set play. He's
Right.
not rolling left, period, like ever. Like
Right. Right.
never, ever, ever rolls left. And if he does
Yeah.
roll left, he's running the ball because he cannot throw the ball left. So these are glaring weaknesses that they know. Um, with that being said, I do think one of the main things, and not go back, but Ed Oliver had a good game in spurts, but the Chiefs about to witness a different animal with Carter, man. That dude is
And Josh Sweat on the outside, but
yeah,
I'm talking about
but
them in a
but
second. But yeah.
that interior to me, that's where you attack the Chiefs to
Yeah.
me
Yeah. Up the
is their
middle. Yeah.
interior, yeah, up the middle. Because you get outside, Mahomes, he's just good at manipulating, stepping in, moving all, but in the middle, you can't do much. So
Right.
I do think that's going to be a key matchup to see. I also feel like the Chiefs' running game is better than what people believe, and I think they're gonna actually have a. They're gonna. th Weirdly enough, I think they're not gonna run the ball that much actually. But I do think I think they'll start off. I wouldn't be surprised if Mahomes throws the ball like 20 times in a row or something to start the game.
Yeah.
And then later in the game, they're going to start hitting them with those runs,
Right.
to soften them up. But anyway, um, that's kind of my high level evaluation. There's so much more other stuff to talk about. But
Yeah.
again, I kind of don't really care about the game as much. I mean, I wish both teams would
Yeah.
lose. I'll give you my prediction after you give your analysis. So,
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it. So the Chiefs have two weaknesses. I'll start with the Chiefs and then because you talked about the Eagles. Chiefs have a weakness too, and Buffalo didn't exploit it. It's they're literally one of the worst teams when it comes to defending the tight ends.
hmm
Dallas Goedert got to get busy. I mean, if I'm on the prop bet, I'm putting some money on Dallas Goedert because you got to get busy. And to your point, Jalen Hurts, if you're getting blitz, you got to dump it off to your tight end. Tight ends are one of the people
hmm
that get open, right? So in the
hmm
middle. So that's the first. That's one of the things. So that's their weakness. Also, another one is and I know he's gonna be upset and maybe read a sideline, but AJ Brown's gonna be non-existent in the game. They literally use him as a decoy, like
hmm
because like you got to use him as a decoy, and you have to use Devontae Smith who in the
hmm
middle. You got to use somebody else. AJ Brown got to be a decoy, and Jalen Hurts has to know like AJ Brown might not actually get many catches.
Right.
If they can do that mentally, like I'm talking about, they have to run the ball. They're the best line in the league, right? They're
Yeah.
gonna blitz and different things like that. Saquon's actually good at picking the blitz up. So they're good at that, but they're gonna. I hope Sirianni is pulling AJ Brown in the room, and say, hey, like you might not get involved in this game as much
Mhm.
as you want to because that's not how we're gonna win the game,
Right.
right? And then also which Buffalo pissed me off. I'm going to talk about it again. The Chiefs safeties are not good tacklers. Right. So if they can get to the second level,
hmm
like their linebackers are good tackle. Nick Bolin's a freaking
Oh yeah,
bowling ball of a
yeah,
tackler.
yeah,
If Saquon gets past second level, like Reed and Cook are not going to want to have any business with them.
yeah.
So and they're not good at. They're also not the best defenders too. But so like I'm this Moore is auditioning for maybe a job for the Saints, right?
hmm
Boy genius Kellen Moore.
Yeah,
Are you gotta have throw some wrinkles in there? Are you gonna use Saquon in the passing game? You gotta do something over the middle. I
yeah,
would leave the outside. The outside with Trent and Watson, which was a key for the Chiefs. How to do it, right?
yeah.
And then on defense, you're right about there's two. To me, there's a couple weaknesses, but for the Eagles, you're right. Zach Vaughn, whatever, great story. Who cares? You got two rookies playing. Okay, this is a Super Bowl. Cooper Jean and Quinton Mitchell. Um, Andy Reid is, Andy Reid is the go offensive mind.
hmm
He's going to create some confusion with you guys. This is a big game here,
Yeah.
and and then I hate to say it because I might sound kind of wild, but Blankenship, their safety, like the dude looked like he's on like Friday Night Lights. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he shouldn't be in the NFL. Like, but
I know.
Blankenship is
Plays, he
in the
can
league.
play.
He can play, but he's in.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Right, right, right.
like last week, you saw what Terry McCullough did to him on the over the
Yeah,
middle. Like when he caught
yeah,
that pass, like my man got smoked. I mean, and it's CJ Gardner. He's a seeking missile that can't cover sometimes. So
yeah.
to your point, it's Patrick Mahomes are gonna take. They're
hmm
gonna worry. But to your point, this is where the Chiefs. Here's a weakness of the Chiefs that is going to get, I think, is going to get exposed. And so, they're screwed on it. Okay. Are you going to start Humphreys? Are you really going to start DJ Humphrey and then put Tooney back in the center? I'm start
Yeah.
putting him back in the left guard when Humphreys hasn't really played in the Super Bowl, or are you going to keep Tooney and then put the backup guy, whatever Michael, whatever name is, Italian name, and he's going to get absolutely destroyed by the interior. You
Yeah.
saw what Ed Oliver did to him. Ed
Yeah.
Oliver was destroying him, right? But then you're like, oh, we're gonna put Tooney in, and then Sweat is gonna destroy whoever. So the Chiefs are gonna do what they did with Buffalo. They're gonna pass the ball within 2 seconds, right?
Right.
Do a lot of vertical, horizontal,
Right.
Kelsey and stuff like that. So that's what their weakness. So it's like both teams have weaknesses, almost same weakness, but the key is gonna be to me the key. I mean, everyone's going Saquon. I really think the key is gonna be is Jalen Hurts gonna be able to pass the ball when he needs to the
Yes.
Smith and Goddard. Like
Yeah.
that's the key. And then don't be surprised. Like I might do a prop bet on Dotson because there's going to be
Hmm.
a person in this game, whether it's like I don't think Noah Gray, but like
Hmm.
somebody like
Hmm.
Justin Watson for the Chiefs. Somebody out there
Hmm.
is going to get a touchdown, and you can win big money on these prop
Yeah.
bets. Somebody going to get it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know who it is, but
Yeah.
somebody's going to get it.
I
So that's
agree,
my thing.
actually. I
Yeah.
agree. So anyway, so who do you think's gonna win? So we'll
Uh,
get to
I mean, I
what do
think
you got?
so. So I'm going to go data wise. No team has ever won three Super Bowls because it's impossible to do. It's hard. I just think it's the Eagles' time. That was my prediction. The
Okay.
Eagles. I mean, if the
You got
Eagles
a
don't
score?
win it this year, yeah, I actually think it's going to be not high scoring as everyone thinks. I saw some ridiculous scores out there, like
Hmm.
35, 32.
Hmm.
I'll say 31-24. That's my prediction.
Okay. 31-24 Eagles. I'm gonna write that down. So I actually completely understand why you would say that. Chiefs are gonna win. It's just and it,
Yeah.
it's gonna be it'll be third. I think it's gonna be 30-28, 28-27,
Are you thinking
something
about
like
one
that.
point?
I
Oh,
think it's gonna
wow.
be a
Yeah.
very close game. I think it's gonna come down to the end. Who's got the ball last? Chiefs gonna have the ball last. They'll figure out a way to win. And
Yeah.
and um I think if it does go the other way, the Eagles will blow them out. Like that's the only way they're going to win to me. If it's a close
That's why
game,
31
yeah,
24.
that's not a blowout. To me, that means that's a one score game. I think they'd have to blow them out like 38-23 or 24.
Oh, I mean, I would
But I
love
don't,
that.
yeah,
40.
but I don't
Yeah.
see it. I think the Chiefs are going to win. As a person that, I'm an NFC Easter. Uh, I've seen the Eagles play. They have a big roster, but they're not invincible. Like really,
Yeah.
if I'm the Chiefs, I watch the Rams game, or I watch the bank. Actually, you know what game is interesting? I would watch the Ravens game. So actually, the way the Ravens played the Eagles, they actually played them pretty well, and I think the Chiefs' defense is better, more sound, personally. Um, and so. I just see it happen. I don't actually don't like I thought the AFC whoever won the AFC was going to win. I don't think that changes. Nothing I saw from
What
the Chiefs made me think after watching that game that they weren't going to win the Super Bowl. I actually feel more confident in the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. I don't see the Eagles winning this game
if
because
they
I don't see
yeah, if they
them.
win
Yeah.
if they win the Super Bowl, that's impressive because they literally their four wins would be against probably the most talented roster in the NFL.
Yeah.
That year, the Niners twice. I mean, shit, if anybody besides Brock Purdy was a quarter to one, like,
Yeah.
but the Niners and then the Eagles like twice. I mean, like, yeah, like they lost to the Buccaneers, but
Mm.
honestly, they probably should have won. But anyways, but
Yeah.
that's impressive. I mean,
Yeah.
I
We'll
wouldn't
see.
put I wouldn't put Pat Mahomes as a GOAT yet. Like, I mean, that's like I love Pat Mahomes, but I'm done with people with these dumb arguments. You put the Pat, if Chicago drafted Pat Mahomes,
Yeah.
his name would be Mitch Trubisky. Okay, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just being real.
Yeah, I mean,
So
hey, Andy Reid is made. I mean, he's great. He's definitely one of the best. But he definitely had Andy Reid helping him. I
yeah,
mean,
people forget that Mike Vick knew how to throw the ball better.
yes,
Like out of jail. People forget about that. Like out of
great point right there. Michael Vick did not know how to throw the ball. You gave Andy Reid, he was throwing for over 3,000 yards, 30 something touchdowns. You're like, who? Michael Vick couldn't do this. Well, Andy
right.
Reid can make him do it.
Yeah, and
So
I'll give Pat Mahomes you
yeah,
always
it's
need
great. Yeah,
yeah, great. I'm not taking anything away with
it's
him,
great.
but I need people to stop talking about how invisible like he is, and I was like, but anyways, that's a
Yeah,
different topic
yeah,
for a different day.
yeah. He's a great player, and I think again,
Yeah, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
mhm.
He'll be if he wins. I don't know yet, but he'll be up
But
there.
but let me ask. I mean, I know we'll get
Mhm.
this will be like the last night. Really quick though. There was one play in the AFC Championship game. It was with third down, and they threw that ball to P. Ryan. Remember to get the first down?
Oh yeah, the mesh
To
system. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How's that not Andy Reid? That's 100% Andy Reid. That is not
Oh
quarterback
yeah.
play. That is perfect play call design.
Well,
My
yeah.
thing is,
Yeah.
I could have made that pass, and I'm not knocking Mahomes. Again, he's great. He made the play, but they're like, look at Mahomes again. I was like, the guy was there was no one within 10 yards of him.
What about the wishbone they ran? Like the one touchdown he had, nobody was over there. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, that's why like I'm gonna give it credit because you have to
You
execute.
got to execute.
But to your point, I mean, Andy Reid to me, Andy Reid's gonna be if he wins the Super Bowl, he's definitely to go. I over Bill Belichick.
He's winning the Super Bowl, man. 2 weeks. He got chances to study. You already know
Yeah.
his record after the bye. I don't care who they're
I just
playing.
don't hope. I
I
actually
don't.
I'm torn. I'm torn because if they win, that makes me feel better. Like damn, Buffalo lost to the destined dynasty.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the fucking Rockets again with the Golden State Warriors. It's like Jesus,
I know.
like
Yeah.
but you're losing the dynasties. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
but if the Eagles win, it'd be good for my dad and the NFC needs a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know.
But I really don't care who wins. But yeah,
Yeah, I
go
mean, really, I hope they both lose. All
yeah
right. Well, so we're gonna do a little bit of a minor pivot because what you guys might not know about Thomas and myself, but some of us there, our friends are in there, but some people are know us, but not that close. We're like huge, huge hip hop fans, like huge. I mean, to the point where we could either have done this about sports or hip hop. We probably end up doing some kind of segment maybe in the future. We
yeah
talked about it where we could have like a little spark split. So another thing that's great about the Super Bowl is that this is like the first just pure hip hop artist only that is being featured. Dr. Dre was the first hip hop person, but he was a producer, and so it was like Dr. Dre and then a whole bunch of people that he produced came out, like Eminem, 50
yeah
Cent, actually Kendrick Lamar, um, you know,
yeah.
Snoop. They
And
all
then
came
yes,
out,
no.
right? So they all came out with him, which is great. I loved it. I mean, Almost Tears was great and knew every song. This is the first Super Bowl where it's just a strictly hip hop guy that is the
Yeah,
main person. And I'm excited, and it's Kendrick Lamar. I've been a big fan of his for a while. Um, for Good Kid, Mad City. So I can't say I'm as old as some others that are listening because I know people liked his first because
yeah,
Section 80, great. Um,
yeah. But it's not better than that. I mean,
no, no, no,
we
no,
got
no, it's not
like
better.
I don't
No,
know
but
why we have friends that think it's not. But anyways,
yeah, it's clearly his best album. Um, so Willie, what I want to talk about really quick for people that are getting ready is Kendrick Lamar, man. He's so versatile. This guy's got a lot of stuff. He just won 2 Grammys for Not Like Us. If you haven't heard Not Like Us, you are probably not in this, world.
Earth,
In Earth, not the United States, Earth. We
right?
went to Italy for a friend's wedding. We were out and they don't even know how to speak English. And they're like, they
Bro,
not like us.
in India they got it too, bro. It's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. Yep.
I was like, what's going
South
on?
America, the Caribbean, like everywhere I've been, it is everywhere. So he won a Grammy, Song of the Year and Record of the Year for Not Like Us. So that's part of the reason why I think he got this. So really, my question to you, Thomas, is what do you think he's gonna play? Because Kendrick is so versatile. He is commercial Kendrick. They Not Like Us. Yeah, I think he's gonna do that, of course. But
Oh yeah,
is he gonna do the commercial Kendrick? Is he gonna do the Black Militant Kendrick, the Black of the
oh
Berry.
yeah.
He gonna do that one. Is he
Or
gonna
money
do
trees.
the money trees, which is another lane, right? Which is to me
Right.
the purest Kendrick, right?
Yeah.
Where he kind of does both. Or is he gonna be the commercial Kendrick? Like, I wanna be with you and love me, that song.
Or
Eh,
humble. Yeah.
Well, he's definitely
Yeah.
gonna do Humble because Humble is like
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
mix. Or is he gonna be Battle Kendrick because he's doing Not Like Us? Is he gonna do Control? Is he gonna do, DNA? Is he gonna do,
Yeah, one
so
song
what?
he won't play for sure is Duckworth for all the people that, are from. So as an inside joke,
It's an inside joke, and they'll know
but
they'll know who it is, and he won't do
but
Duckworth, even though it's a great song because he did say
yeah,
he was gonna do storytelling. He said
yeah,
expect
yeah.
storytelling, but I don't know what
So
that means. What do you think?
yeah, I, it's weird because I don't want to be political, but now the
Hmm.
fight racism sign is at the end what was
Hmm.
it end racism whatever
Yep.
at the end zone is getting away and Trump. And I'm not being political, guys. Don't cancel it. But hey, you asked me an opinion. I'm just giving you guys what I think. So
Yep.
Trump's going to be their first time a president ever there, and everyone should know Kendrick is pretty about his culture, about his people, about
Hmm.
so does he do that? So what I mean that I personally think he's gonna do a mixture. He's gonna do a little bit, and hey, the maybe they won't have another hip hop artist after this. But I was trying to think like like if he goes this way,
Yeah.
but will be. But that so I think it's interesting. I think he's going to start off. This is just knowing even seeing it because Snoop was crip walking. What I'm saying like I don't know how Snoop gets away with half the shit he does. He
I
crip
don't
walk
know.
with the handkerchief with the crip sign, and the little handkerchief coming down. So it was accepted, but Snoop is different.
Yeah, clearly.
So I think he's going to start off with a little bit of that commercial Kendrick, and then get into that. You know what I would love to see?
What?
I would love to see Not Like Us and Drake's up there. That would like I would be hilarious. Like bring Drake up,
Yeah.
and it's Not Like Us, and like yo, it's beef, but like Kendrick's that type of person. Like don't let hip hop kind
Hmm.
of mess you up. He has that personality.
Yeah.
That'll be that'll be hilarious, bro.
That
Because
would.
you got Taylor Swift twerk into it in the Grammys,
Yep.
and people sometimes forget it's a diss song about somebody, and they're saying minor, like
Yeah.
like they're oh, I'm like,
Probably
what is
A
going?
minor.
Like I'm hearing Taylor Swift saying so I think he's gonna. So going back to the question, I think he's gonna start off a little commercial,
Hmm.
then he's gonna throw something in there, and I don't think people understand. He did like a little like pro-black thing, but people are like, they're not gonna know until afterwards. Like, well, hold on, what just happened?
Hmm.
And then I will love for him if this happened to bring Drake up and say not like us and like slap it up and say hip hop, like do some corny
Hmm.
like and the beef bullshit that you
Yeah.
shouldn't fight over it. That's just
That,
me.
that would be interesting. I can bet my whole life almost that he won't do that because
It would be amazing. I said I
that
would love
dude
that.
chooses violence. And what I mean by that is he
Yeah,
even says in his songs, he likes to compete. And
yeah.
so, for me, the way I got so many thoughts. I've been talking to my kids about it, all this. Like they've got their opinions. Um, I think what I would like to see from him is because this is a Super Bowl. You don't get another chance to do this. This is the biggest
Yeah.
stage. He's done the NCAA championship, remember? Like he did that halftime show
Oh
in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
2018, which is great.
And you
He did
double
the
your
Super
wealth afterwards.
right.
But well, go ahead.
He did the
Yeah.
Super Bowl with Dre. So the song, just so you know, he did Good Kid, Mad
Oh
City
yeah,
came
yeah, yeah.
out, and he
True.
did All Right. So he did those. I think
I forgot he did all right. Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
He's definitely doing all right. I mean, that's guaranteed. There's no way
Yeah.
he's not going to do that because that's to me, that's the anthem. And like you said, he's going to make sure he does something for us. The thing I would like for him to do is because he's got so much stuff and people don't know him. Right? So this is your opportunity to listen to little different things from Kendrick from that we know, like you said, money trees and
Swimming pools. I would love to play
swimming
swimming.
pools. Like he's got to come out to swimming pools and money tree and like Section 80, like you say, if he does ADHD and then he does, backseat freestyle and he does King Kunta and it's like this like mashup of like maybe like 6 minutes of the 15 minutes of like different songs that he has. Like, so
Right.
like, oh, boom, I've never heard this. Oh, this is great. Boom. So he's giving you his history. And then he goes into what I think he thinks is the most purest, which is the battle. And that's where I think he does like some of the like the DNA. He does his verse on Control, the song that he's
Yeah.
like, you know, I got love for you, but I'm trying to murder all y'all. Like where he based his first time where he actually was like, I'm saying I'm the best rapper and I'm taking everybody in the industry because that's Kendrick. So that's
Yeah.
his essence. And so I'm like, it would be cool if he did that little part of his verse and then go into Not Like Us, because then at least people, when they hear Not Like Us, they could hear why
Yeah.
he's gone to Not Like Us. Like there's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
there's a progression for Kendrick
Yeah.
to what he does. And then he finishes with like Squabble Up, which is, a commercial song, and then
Yeah.
Humble, and then, All Right, which I think he's gonna end. I would think he would end in All Right if I had to guess. And he also has SZA coming, so he's gonna do the All the Stars from Black Panther
Oh yeah. I was
for
going to ask you
sure.
as a tribute for Chadwick. You know, say
Yes,
maybe you would do it. Yeah.
yes. So I think he's gonna
Well,
do
I
Luther
pray for.
and
Okay.
SZA. I mean, and
Pray
All
for
the
me.
Stars. Yeah.
You don't think he would pray for me? Weekend won't be there, but
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, because I'm like, man, we can get to go back out there again. Or E.T. That's a terrestrial song with Katy
right there,
Perry.
sure. Okay,
So
Joey,
I
that's
was like,
true.
I was like, he could do that because he's got a lot of songs. Because people are like, wait, he's got songs with Katy Perry. I'm like, yeah, Kendrick's got songs with Katy Perry, guys.
Yeah, he got songs with everybody. Like
Yeah.
I know.
So
He's gonna be a
he's
great.
yeah.
It's gonna be a great week for him, bro. Grammy and this.
I know, man. It's exciting. So I will tell you this, and the reason why we spend a little time, even though it's hip hop, pay it. Make sure you watch it, even if you don't like hip hop. Watch it and be conscious of what he's doing because, like we just said, he's a type of artist that puts things out for a reason. It's not just the music, it actually is a message, and he's gonna have a story behind what he is doing. He's not just gonna be out there dancing around and saying random stuff.
Yeah,
He's gonna make sure the songs are gonna be whatever he does is gonna be some kind of theme, whether it's like hits, like I said, battle rapping, culture, like whatever it is he decides to do, he's gonna do that. And
yeah. He got. It's gonna be. Yeah, I'm just saying, he got so many songs,
I
but
know. I'm so excited. I'm more excited, as you can tell the passion,
it
way
might
more
be.
excited about the halftime show than I am the game, to be
Yeah,
honest. The game
people
I'll be
for,
watching. But
people forget like no hip hop. People are like, oh, Jay-Z never like when he talked to people like, nah, Jay-Z never did one.
nope.
Technically, Eminem, technically, but he
Right.
was with Dre. But yeah,
Right.
yeah, for
But Eminem
rapping.
never has done one right. Like no one has
Yeah,
done one. This is
it
this
was.
is
Yeah.
monumental.
Thank God we didn't have to hear Usher or somebody else. Jesus, thank God, bro.
I
I was
know I've
like,
had enough. I've had enough of
and
that
with the
too.
weekend, I like the weekend, but like, come on, man, I'm
Yeah.
over
Yeah. It's like,
it.
yeah, do something.
Timberlake. I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah, like let's move to I mean, it's 2025 at this point. We understand what people like. And I like Kendrick because why it helps is young it's oh, we're older and I still like him and the younger people like him. Like
Yeah,
they all like his,
yeah,
stuff, that he's done. So
yeah.
anyways, really excited about that. I don't those are my predict I still haven't I'm gonna make a list. I haven't made it yet. I'm gonna make a list of what songs I think he's gonna play versus what I would hope he would play. My 16-year-old daughter challenged me to that. She's gonna make her own list and we're gonna compare. But I'll figure it out. I'm gonna get into my mind of Kendrick and figure that one out, and I'll let you guys know
I'm
yours.
interested to see how many songs he's gonna
Yeah.
play. Like
Yeah, he's
over
got
under, if there's a
15.
bet out there. You
I
think
think
15?
he's got
Oof.
15 minutes, so I think he's gonna do.
Oh, he's at 15 songs. Like, damn. I think it's gonna be my guess
I think he'll do
eight to
more than that.
10,
Yeah, 10.
8 to 10.
I think it'll be
Yeah,
10. I think it'll be 10. I think the only songs that he was gonna do all of is like that he might do all of, or at least a majority of, is All Right and Not Like Us. Those
yeah,
are the
of
two.
course.
Those
Yeah,
are like the two locks. Like if you're gonna put, there's a bet on Kendrick, bet on Not Like Us and All Right being played. There's a guarantee.
yeah,
Now, Squabble Up, which is the new, people like it, and it's, or Turn the TV Off. Like
yeah,
TV Off is big, mustard.
yeah,
It's all over now. But so he's probably gonna do it. But who knows? He might be like, no, you guys can go listen. I've got a
yeah,
concert coming out. You come to my concert, I'll do that. Super Bowl, you gonna hear the essence of Kendrick, right? You're gonna hear
yeah,
this song. You're gonna hear King Kunta or
yeah.
or
He
you
don't.
know,
He
Complexion or something, right?
right. He don't got songs with. I'm trying to think. He don't got a song with Lil Wayne, does he? Like, pop, no, I'm
He
trying to.
does. He
I'm talking about
does.
like a popular song. I know he has songs, but
But
I
he's
don't,
got a
I don't
it, it
think
was
like.
it was released. It was Lil Wayne song. It's called Mona Lisa. And it's a
Oh yeah,
story.
okay,
And it's a
yeah.
story. So he said he was like, I'm gonna tell a
Maybe you bring
story.
Lil Wayne out
So
there.
I'm hoping that's actually a hope of mine that Lil Wayne gets a chance to perform in New Orleans because everyone's so mad about it. Like
Hopefully,
Lil Wayne
yeah.
should have been it. I'm like, no, Lil Wayne should not have done this over Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
No.
have they met? Have they seen how high that man is? They're gonna trust him for
They're
15.
like,
You
nah,
can't just
son.
2
Yeah.
minutes, yeah, but
Yeah.
15 minutes.
No.
The scissor might have been, he might be leaning or, but yeah,
Yeah,
but
for sure. So I'm hoping he does Mona Lisa. That would be cool. But
uh,
but again, it's such a long song. I'm like, I don't even know how you do it. I guess you could do the last part and then the first part of his verse, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, looking forward to that. All right. Well, it's been a long episode, but we had a lot to say, and so I'll make
yeah. And
sure
plus,
that
we
I
missed a
break it up.
week.
Yeah, we
We
missed
missed
a
a week.
week. So I know you got some last comment. Any last things you want to talk about? Because one thing we did not mention, I'm leaving the floor for you. Um,
Oh, the MVP.
that's right.
Yeah, it is. I got a lot to say. I hope First Take, the whole damn crew is listening to this. Yeah. So, you know, the MVP award. Okay.
Hmm.
There's a lot of factors in it. Like last year, I personally don't think Lamar should have won. Honestly, I think Josh Allen should. Josh Allen have at least two MVPs minimum. One, I get Aaron Rodgers to beat him, but the MVP, right? So they're like, oh, Lamar is having such a great year. So this is. I wanted to go back to the beginning. Stephen A. Smith talks about this, and he makes a good MVP stands for what? Most valuable player, right? I mean, value player. The Bills were literally looked at, maybe not even basically not to win the AFC East. Barely made make the playoffs. The Ravens, on the other hand, because it's the MVP choice, right? I would have put Saquon number two, but hey, whatever.
Hmm.
Lamar coming in. They got Derrick Henry, expectation, best roster. They're supposed to make the Super Bowl. Actually, to be honest with you, they did not succeed what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be in the game right now, right? That's the MVP. So we're and then they're going and then they're like, oh, his stats are so great. I'm going to talk about it in a second, but let's talk about the MVP talk. Who did they lose to? That's what people I want to talk about. The Browns and the Raiders. Okay. So to me, you lost to the. No, I want to go because they're talking about the game. They lost, and Lamar didn't play well in these games, right? And you lost to
Hmm.
the Raiders and the Browns. So you already disqualify. You lost to two sorry ass teams. That's how I look at it. Like the Bills lost to the Texans. The last game don't count. They lost to the Texans, the Rams, and the Ravens, all playoff teams.
Right.
Okay, and Josh Allen had to carry them. The Rams can only get me started on the game. Had to
Right.
carry
Right.
them. And
Six
Ty and I were
touchdowns.
at the Texas. Yeah, six. And Ty and I were at the Texas game. No one was open. I mean, like I'm surprised. They're like he had the worst game, 9 of 31. We watched the game. He should have. If he would have actually passed the ball, it would have been a lot of picks. He had to
Yeah.
throw the ball away, throw in the dirt. So that's
Yeah.
how I look at it. But everyone talks about going to the main point. He lost to the two. They lost to the teams. Uh, Josh Allen beat the Chiefs. They beat the Detroit Lions, the best teams in the
Hmm.
NFL, all that stuff,
Hmm.
right? So like, oh, that should be the story. That should be the story. Like the guy, he literally had Matt Collins as the leading receiver for touchdowns. Okay, Matt Chulis Collins and his team, right? So they're like, oh, James Cook, and now people say, oh, James Cook is a top five. Nobody was saying that about James Cook. First off, Josh Allen could have ate a lot of touchdowns, and he
Yep.
gave it to James Cook, right? So I don't want to talk about statistics. This is why again, why were people so impressed with Lamar? This is where this is I want to get to the root cause. Like because he throws the ball. It, isn't that what a quarterback's supposed to do? I'm not trying to be an ass, so I'm just saying, like, isn't that what a quarterback's supposed to do? So they're like, oh, Lamar's never passed a ball. I mean, yeah, good, great quarterback rating and all that stuff. Like,
Good.
pass the
Great
ball, he's
year.
great everything. Yeah, and so what I did was I went back to the all. You got to watch the all 22. You subscribe for $99 a year, you get it. So I went back. I'm like, yo, let me look at the tape because I'm like, yo, Lamar. Yeah, I saw some pass look nice. And I know some people are gonna say I'm a hater. I'm not trying to be a hater. I think Lamar, I like Lamar. I like Lamar a lot. I think he's a
Mm.
great quarterback. But when I watched the tape and I saw how open Rashard Bateman was getting and everybody else, I'm like, wow, no wonder why he was getting the passes. The guys were wide, all offensive lines holding up. People were
Mm.
playing, people had to decide whether to play Derrick Henry and everything like that. So like when the defense is like, okay, we got to decide we're gonna take away from Lamar or Derrick. When the defense played Buffalo, they decide, James Cook, fuck that.
Yeah.
We're gonna put two safety high. Josh Allen saw the most two safety high besides Patrick Mahomes in NFL. So he has to play two safety high with Matt Collins, right? So you're like, so Lamar saw the touchdowns, and they're like, well, Lamar had 41 touchdowns, all that stuff. Josh Allen did play 8 quarters.
Yeah.
People fail to remember because again, this is why I
More than
hate
eight
these
quarters.
freaking guys.
Like it was like 10 quarters.
Yeah, no. Well, technically it was nine, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to the point in a
Hmm.
second because this is where like RC, which by the way, I'm not a big Ryan Clark fan. I used to like him, but I don't know what the hell happened to him. But he's like way too like gets too personal and gets too
Hmm.
emotional about stuff. And that's why I like Daniel Rouse. Like, and I hate to say, Nick Wright actually makes good points too.
I know he's
Like,
starting to piss me off,
but
actually.
yeah, yeah.
He's starting to
So
get better.
here,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to all 22. Remember when Josh Allen had that run with no intercept, no interceptions. Remember the beginning
Hmm.
of the first four games, no
Hmm.
interceptions. People fail to remember who he played. He played the Dolphins, will blow him out. He sat the second half, basically. Literally,
Yeah.
the second half, he passed the ball twice in the second
Right.
half.
Right.
Second half, buddy. He played. People are like, oh, he played. No, no. He played the third quarter and literally was handing it off. He had 3 touchdowns. The Tennessee game, he barely, the Tennessee game when he had like
He didn't play
all
at
the
all the
touchdowns.
fourth quarter.
Yeah, and then he played fourth quarter, and then he was handing the ball off. The Jacksonville game, he had 4 touchdowns in the first half, didn't play. So let's do the math. He sat 9 quarters. Then those 3 games I mentioned where he could pad his stats up, he didn't. He had passed the ball. He was handing the ball off. So let's fast forward because that's when the defense actually played well because they were trashing them. Let's fast forward. Detroit Rams game.
Hmm.
The defense was giving up points. He had to, if it was like if the defense played like that in the beginning of the year, Josh Allen would have had more touchdowns.
Right.
He would have had 38 touchdowns, 40 touchdowns. So that's why I hate when people talk about statistics because they're like,
Right.
are you like that's why Acho even mentioned it too. If you're actually watching the tape, he wasn't chasing points, guys. He
Yeah.
actually was caring about he was actually being the old Josh Allen. He was, I think somebody mentioned, I don't know if it's true, like before he's chasing points and everything like that. And my last point is this. Lamar, I watched a lot of Lamar games. He was. I don't know if he was him or Tom Munkett. He was stat patting. What happened? Oh, the Cleveland game. What happened when they stat pat? You're up 28-10. Why the
Hmm.
fuck are you screen passing to Zay Flowers, who busts
Hmm.
his knee up and goes over because you stat pat,
Hmm.
right? So you're patting the stats, right? So I say stat pat,
Hmm.
patting the stats. So again, if Zay Flower plays in that Bills, if Zay Flower plays, I'm telling you right now, the Ravens are winning the Super Bowl. I'm calling right now, like the Ravens would be in the Super Bowl because the Bills. There's no way in hell the Bills would have stopped that. And then I just think they were built to beat the Chiefs, right? So
Yeah.
by you trying to pat your stats, maybe it was by Todd Munkin, then you lost your best player and everything. And that's the difference with Buffalo. Get healthy, put that cap on, go on. This is why I hate when people talk about stats. It's about the MVP. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
So Josh Allen with MVP, and Lamar should have not. I don't know what Miller was doing with fourth place is ridiculous, but I would have said second to Saquon Barkley. But that's just me.
Yeah.
It's either for me. It was either Saquon or Josh or Saquon. That's my opinion.
Yep.
I know a lot of people like John. Our boy John's gonna call me a hater, but I'm just saying. I'm watching the tape, John. Watch the tape, buddy. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yep. I mean, and remember we talked about it, the stat is when Lamar threw the ball 30 plus times this year, they were 2-5.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
that's 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 not meaning
And
you're
when
I mean,
they're
when Derrick Henry didn't run the ball 20 times, they were 0 and what 0 and 4 or 0 and 5.
and he lost the playoff game when he got only 16 touches. But
Just
I don't
but
want to put
again,
the
and it is not and it's not they're like and people are like, why are you trying to bring someone down? I'm like, I'm not bringing him down. I'm just stating to you the an
that
MVP means this was the most important the best player and the reason why this team to me is as good as they are. He's great.
yeah
He is the reason why they're really good. He was not as important to his team as Josh Allen
yeah
was to his team.
yeah
I mean, it's just
yeah. And
it's just very clear. And that's it. And
I
I mean,
yeah, I said Lamar is great. He's a
great
top three
player.
quarterback. Yeah, and but I like Lamar and Joe Burrow. I watched a lot of them were stats, bro. They were just throwing the ball. Like there's time to like go, why are you throwing the ball? And I watched the Bills game. It's like Josh Allen was handing the ball off in the second half. They're winning and just handing the ball off, put the cap on, and keep it moving.
And
So
here's another really quick thing, and then we can get off. When it comes to percentage of yards accounted for, it's not even close. Josh Allen accounted for like 80%, almost 80% of the yards accounted for the team, and Lamar was like 60%.
I,
And it's not
the
knocking
highest,
Lamar, but this is like Josh Allen was like breaking again records.
yeah,
And this is you can say people can say, well, that shouldn't matter. Go look at these stats. I was like, but you look at the entire Ravens team. I mean, you had a running back that almost ran for 2,000 yards. So
at
that's what I'm
30
saying.
something years old, by
Yeah.
the way.
So like while it shouldn't matter, it does matter because if
Yeah,
I have
wait,
Derrick Henry, like you said, I now have a different look when I'm throwing the ball. Like no one is
right,
going in there and it's like, man, we need to drop all these people back to stop the Ravens. No, it's put
yeah.
as many 9 men in the box. So,
Right.
all
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
one thing because I mentioned it before, but I like to reiterate stuff
Mm.
because people sometimes Taylor forget, and this is another to some people in our group chat. This is the most impressive statistic for me. It's like, oh, Lamar almost broke the passer rate record. Well, Josh Allen is the first quarterback in NFL history to have less than seven negative plays. Seven negative plays, bro. A sack, less
Whoa.
than 12 negative plays. A sack or interception broke the record, NFL record, by the way. Negative play, taking a sack or a turnover. It's a
Wow.
statistic, bro. That's what I'm saying. He broke the record. I
Wow.
mean, they were talking about that's a Joe Marino's biggest. He's a big Buffalo Bill podcast. He
Yeah.
literally is NFL. He broke the NFL record, and the
Wow.
team broke the record for the longest negative 18. I think it was 18 negative
Yeah.
plays in NFL history.
Wow. And that's wild. And what's wild about it is he still got 40 touchdowns. So it's not like he was just doing this and being conservative. He
But
still
but,
accounted for
but
40 touchdowns.
right. With negative plays meaning turnovers and
Fumbles, interceptions, and
fumbles,
sacks.
and the way stats are, sacks are like it has to be your fault. But anyways, but wasn't that the problem why he didn't win last year? Last year he didn't
Yeah.
win because of turnover,
Yep.
and he had the most touchdowns.
Yep.
Just saying, the guys got to stop. Like stick to
Yeah.
to something, right? So
Yeah. Congratulations to Josh Allen. He is finally he
yes,
needed to be in here regardless of what's happening. He now can he has his stamp in the and in NFL history, which I think he deserves based on what he's done the last 5 years, which he has more
yeah,
touchdowns and yards than any other player in their first 7 years of any player in their career. That includes Patrick Mahomes. So that's why he
yes.
deserves to be on this mantle, like what we were saying. He's that guy there. They should be there. I like your background. Those guys will be in there, hopefully fighting
Sure.
each other for the next 10, 15 years. So
Well, I mean, yeah, and Lamar will be a Hall of Famer too.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah. Well,
let's see how Burrow is, but that's a different subject. But go ahead. You know how I
Burrowhead,
feel about it.
Burrowhead. Yeah. Yep. All right, man. Hey, what a great episode. I thought it was good. I'm really looking forward to getting some I'm gonna get some Buffalo style pizza, by the way, Thomas. There's a place that's like 25 minutes from me that sells Buffalo style pizza. So the girls, we're gonna get that.
That's your favorite, bro.
Nah, that's my favorite. New
Yeah.
York pizza is my favorite.
No,
But
I'm talking about like for toppings. If you're gonna do
oh,
toppings, you go. You might.
yeah.
You're more of a cheese or pepperoni, but if you're gonna do
Yeah.
toppings, you might as well do buffalo.
No, I'm talking about Buffalo. No, I'm talking about Buffalo,
Oh,
New
buffalo. Oh,
York.
buffalo style.
No,
Oh,
Buffalo,
okay.
New York style pizza. Like
Oh, we talking about the deep dish. The one I just got. Okay,
with like
got
the
you.
pepper, the little small pepper, the little small pepperonis or
Yeah, the
whatever.
cups.
Yep.
The one I just bought for during the playoff game. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
I
I
thought you
got
meant to say like
oh
buffalo style
Buffalo
pizza,
like
but you don't
oh
like
no
blue.
no
You don't
yeah I
like
don't like
blue cheese. That's why I was
yeah
like,
right yeah
I
no
thought maybe it's for the kids.
yeah no but we are gonna get wings that we got so we're all excited so Super Bowl at the house I say go Kendrick Lamar how about that so
Yeah.
all right
All
everybody
right.
all right we will talk to you guys later and have a good weekend
Take care.
all right.